Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather. It's dead 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 1st of July. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and Ensembles. Right around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for July itself, and I should get on that for you in a moment. Just to say about the first video release day, what's our 6 UK weather forecast, and we've released Jeremy Friday as well. Please check out those two videos. Like, share, subscribe on all of today's videos and content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone. Right, let's start off with the centering temperature. So the CT is now sitting at 12.6, which is 1.5 degrees below the 61 to 1990 average, actually provisional to yesterday, to the 20th of June. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We'll look at London today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London, starting off around average at the moment. We will find the upper air temperatures lifting up, though, through the first half of next week anyway, becoming really quite warm up to the middle of next week. Possibly even locally hot down across the south with some of these more outlier ensemble members. However, quite a tumble in the upper air temperatures then taking place through the second half of next week, with a fairly rapid cool down back close to average. And then the GFS ensembles through the first week of July just hovering very close to the long-term 30-year average. But you will notice the thick green line, which is the GFS midnight operational run. We'll look at that in a moment. That does take off and become quite warm in the extended range, but not a great deal of support within the GFS ensembles for that at the moment. Precipitation-wise, so a lot of dry weather to come over next week. There will be some showery rain pushing across the country tonight, and maybe some heavy showers tomorrow morning as well. But largely on the dryish side, really, up to the middle of next week. However, second half of next week becomes more unsettled, and then through the first week of July, we keep some showery conditions going then. Temperature anomalies from the 21st, 29th of July, a little bit above average, and precipitation anomalies from the 21st, 29th of July, wetter than average in the west and drier than average in the east and the north. The latest wind map from earthnullschool.net showed that we've got an area of low pressure in the Atlantic around Iceland, and a weather system coming in to western parts of the country. That weather system will be pushing eastwards across the country as we go through the course of today, tonight, and into tomorrow morning. It will be a diminishing and weakening feature as it does so. However, it could bring some showery bursts into the east tonight, and some heavy shower tomorrow for a time. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro run. Looking midnight on Monday. High pressure reaching up from the southwest, being quite a lot dry and warm weather with. High pressure then breaks to the east as we go through Tuesday, pulls in wind in a southerly or a southeasterly direction, so becoming dry and warm, maybe very warm through the early part of next week. However, it's not long before this trough starts moving up from the south, and that generates into an area of low pressure, oh dear, the middle part of next week, bringing heavy showers, longer spells of rain, possibly thunderstorms as well. That could be quite a thundery sort of breakdown that's going on there. And then we end the UK Met with low pressure across northern parts of France into southern England, so further showers, if not longer spells of rain, to come into the second half of next week. Right, well, let's have a look at ICOM. Again, we see high pressure ridging up from the southwest on Monday, and Tuesday mostly dry, very warm start to next week. But the pattern is beginning to wobble. By Wednesday, troughs start to form close to country, low down towards Biscay as well. Doesn't generate a thundery low, though, like the UK Met does. So just to see it rather slack with the gradients through the second half next week. Probably heavy showers and thunderstorms scattered around, but nowhere near as unsettled as the UK Met is showing. Eventually, probably cold front coming southwards by the end of next week, introducing some cooler air from the north. But ICOM wants to keep warm weather going through most of next week. So there's still uncertainty, even at this late stage. It's Friday today, there's still uncertainty, even at this late stage, about what's happening from around Wednesday onwards next week. This time, KMA is looking again. High pressure is dominating the weather through the weekend or the end of the weekend into the start of next week. We get into the middle of next week. So the KMA wants to bring low pressure in from the Atlantic. So it doesn't really have a thundery breakdown. But does turn things significantly more unsettled with low pressure heading in from the Atlantic, bringing showers and longer spells of rain, quite strong winds as well, quite tight packed isobars, so turning significantly cooler, but not particularly via a thundery breakdown from the south like UK Met shows, but turning significantly cooler and more unsettled through the second half of next week. Those cooler and more unsettled dishes last then into the beginning of July with the KMA. Okay, let's have a look at GFS midnight run. Again, mostly dry and very warm start to next week. Then we've got some sort of thundery trough starting to push up from the south, develops into an area of low pressure through the middle part of next week. That's very much in line with what the UK Met is showing, looking very unsettled through the middle of next week with a thundery breakdown. That gets out of the way, and then we go into this northwesterly, so that's a cooler wind direction, probably with showers up in the north. Then high pressure's back in again as we go up towards days 9 and 10. And the first week of July is actually dominated with by high pressure here with the GFS midnight run. Remember, it is a bit of a warm outlier, though, within the GFS ensembles. So much uncertainty, isn't there, from model to model, as early as like less than a week away. Quite incredible. Right, the GFS 6 then, again, with high pressure ridging up from the southwest on Monday, and lasting Tuesday being a mostly dry and very warm, possibly locally hot start to next week down in the south. But by Wednesday, a thundery low is developing down to the southwest, and that thundery trough then sits over the country through the middle part of next week, before low pressure develops in the Atlantic and starts to push everything through. By the end of next week, we go into a rather showery westerly wind and a cooler wind as well. Beyond day 10, well, very different with the 6th edge to the midnight run, as low pressure dominates you the first week of July. Cool, unsettled, west-northwesterly wind bringing showers or longer spells of rain, and just really quite a dismal sort of first week to July there with the GFS 6 edge, hint of some northern blocking as well by the end of the GFS 6 edge run. If you're enjoying the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, get them to subscribe too. It's amazing, it's incredible. We thank you so much everyone for doing that. We've reached 18.5k, so we've only got another 500 to put on until we get to 19k, which is absolutely awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much everyone. Okay, GM, again building high pressure up from southwest on Monday, mostly dry and very warm. Into the middle of next week, we start to get this thundery trough moving up from the south, about an area of low pressure that could well bring some heavy showers and thunderstorms through the middle part of next week. And then that gets out of the way into the second half next week. We pull in a rather fresher northwesterly flow, probably with some showers. By day 10, which is the 1st of July, high pressure bridging back in from the Azores. So that's kind of in line with what GFS midnight run was doing. And then lastly, we've got the ECM looking like this, with high pressure bridging up from the southwest, being mostly dry, a very warm start to next week. Could be locally hot in the south and southeast. Then a thundery low more towards the east of the country through the middle part of next week, before low pressure develops in the Atlantic. Now that's kind of like what the KMA is doing, I suppose. Now anyway, by the time we get through to days 8, 9, 10, low pressure right over the top of the country, very unsettled and cool. The showers or longer spells of rain there as we go up to day 10, which is the first day of July. We begin July on a cool and unsettled note with the ECM. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Tibet.com. Showery rain coming across the country through today, tonight and tomorrow. Could generate some showers in the southeast corner through the morning, but should turn drier into the afternoon. Then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, mostly dry, but we have got some wet weather out in the far west and the northwest. By the middle of next week, we could be looking at some heavy showers and thunderstorms pushing up from the south. Bit of uncertainty about that. And then by the end of next week, low pressure attacks from the Atlantic. We go into a much more westerly regime with showers or longer spells of rain never too far away. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensemble today for Day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 1st of July. 16 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to the north and the northwest, low pressure over into the south and east country, looking cool and unsettled with that one. We've got 12 with low pressure to the east and the mid-Atlantic ridge to the west, bringing the wind from a rather cool and showy northwest wind. We've got, so there's 16 there, 12 there, and 11 here with a trough of low pressure right over top of the country, including control and the operational room. We have got 6 with high pressure, though, maintained just to the west of the country. That would bring a mostly dry, if rather cool start to July. And we've got another 6 with low pressure just to the southwest, high pressure to the northeast. That could be the warmest option, as we would bring the wind up from the south. However, could also be quite volatile with that heavy rain, especially in southern regions. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 6th of July. 13 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure over to the east of the country, high pressure blocking around Greenland, winds coming in from a north or northeasterly direction. That looks very cool and unsettled. 12 with low pressure again over to the east of the country. So, sorry everyone, that looks rather cool and unsettled too. We've got 10 here though, with high pressure ridging in from the Atlantic up to Northern Europe. That should be a little bit drier and maybe slightly warmer. 8 with high pressure just to the west of the country, low pressure to the northeast. That will bring the wind in from the northwesterly direction. Mostly dry, but a bit on the cool side. And then a further 8 with low pressure just to the west of Ireland, high pressure up towards Scandinavia. All looking a little bit mixed, I have to say, both at day 10 and day 14. We are seeing signs of rather unsettled conditions here. Finally, CFS V2. This is the latest 700 millibar height anomaly for July. Remember, these change daily. Today's idea is to have a ridge over and just to the west of the country. Will bring the wind in from a northwesterly type direction. Temperature anomalies about average, maybe ever so slightly above. And there's no particular signal here for precipitation either. But we shall see about that. If you want to know more about July, by the way, check out JMA Friday. It certainly looks like the first half of July could be shaping up to be quite cool, but we'll see. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much, everyone, for doing that for us. Right, well, I'll just tell you what's happening on the channel tomorrow. We're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast. The EC42 day are going to be released tomorrow as well. There's a 10 to 14 day. We've got another Glasgow update coming up. I might try and squeeze in weekend forecast as well. No, lots and lots of content to look forward to on the channel. Please keep checking back for more. But for this video, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.